They're already referencing Michael Smith. Had to get going. So we got Jason Johnson, my co-host for the next 7 minutes. And you know, Jason is family, so it wouldn't be family if we didn't have a little troll job off the top here. Love Jamal Adams. Love Jamal Adams, but he's out for the season. The Seattle Seahawks have not one, not two, not three, but four. 4 wins. 4 wins.
Yes.
It's December, and the Seahawks have won 4 games. They're 4-8.
4
That's
4
unbelievable.
It is very believable.
But what's even worse is they're 4-8, and hey, at least they get a high draft pick. Nope. They traded that to New York to get Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling before we have like a nice friendly conversation? just tell me how you're feeling. Looking at 4-8, no first round pick.
The only joy that any Seahawks fan can get out of this season is the comfort deep in our hearts that under the Christmas tree this spring will be the firing of Pete Carroll. That's the only thing we can look forward to at this point.
You want it. You want Pete Carroll to go.
Pete Carroll has to be gone. The entire coaching staff has to be gone.
Franchise history.
It is coaching. Here's the thing. I'm sad about Jamal Adams because at the end of the day, much as he was a friend of the show, got to interview him, was great and everything else like that, the fact of the matter is he is too great a talent for how he is being used. Jamal Adams is better than he's been performing on this team because Ken Norton Jr. doesn't know how to scheme to save his life. I mean, these guys look like a flash mob out there. They just appear and disappear. And folks be running through them every single time in the backfield. They better clean something up with Jamal Adams because at the end of the day, I don't know that the Seahawks are going to be able to pay to keep Quandre Diggs. But here's the thing. If I'm Jody Allen, just like she's getting involved with the Trailblazers right now, she's got to make some tough decisions. Jody Allen is probably going to step in, have a conversation with Russ and say, look, do you want Pete to stay or not? And Russ is going to say no. And Pete's going to be gone, and that's the only way that you can save this franchise. It is much easier. You've got much greater opportunities to have a veteran quarterback get a new lease on life. What were we talking about? You got Arians and Tom Brady. You had Bruce Arians and Carson Palmer. You have what's been happening with Carson Wentz. You can get LaFleur. You can get another coach to come in there and have the next 4 or 5 years of Russell Wilson's career diminishing prime be great. But there's no way in hell that you want to trade Russell Wilson and start this thing from scratch with the way that John Schneider is getting draft picks and the way that Pete Carroll's coaching.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that. For now, I'm keeping an eye. I can't take my eye off that T-shirt you're rocking, Stevie Wonder. First of all, great T-shirt, and
thank you.
I can't imagine as bad as I've said this to people, and let's see if you agree with it. As bad as the Seahawks have been in 2021, Stevie Wonder was that great. He was the opposite. I can't think of anybody who had a greater decade than Stevie Wonder in the 1970s. You put all those albums together, Stevie in the 70s. Tell me somebody who had a greater decade. Can you come up with anybody?
I can't come up with anyone who had a greater commercial decade and creative decade, right? Because, look, Prince produced a lot of music, right? But it wasn't always commercially successful. Some of the stuff you had to go to his website, blah, 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 after he became the symbol. But almost every single thing that Stevie made in the 1970s was a commercial success. It was a critical success. And I will say this. I've seen Stevie Wonder twice live. Once at Dick Gregory's funeral, and another time where he came out and spoke for Dave Chappelle at a presentation of Dave Chappelle. It was weird. He was talking about cancel culture. Why is Stevie Wonder talking about cancel culture? But when you talk about a pop music R&B icon, you can't do better than Stevie. So, yes, there are people who say that he's not the most creative. I say he's brilliant.
Oh, that's unbelievable. But, speaking of pop music icons and the art form and describing the art form, what you like and what you and what you don't, one of the people who did that at a very high level was Greg Tate. I don't know if you were familiar with Greg Tate's work over the years, but he passed. He was 64 years old. Former Village Voice contributor, Rolling Stone. I was introduced to Greg Tate from his first book of essays called Fly Boy and the Buttermilk. A great title. Yeah. Do you have any words or any perspective on Greg Tate? Because I know a lot of people have had some tributes over the last couple of days.
So I can say this. At sort of the macro level, I read that book, Flyboy and the Butterfly. I did read that book. I've read several essays that he's written. This is what I will say about that kind of sort of iconic character. When people whose work I read now are in tears about, when Teray is like, I can't handle this, when every other great entertainment writer that I know says that this man's passing is a huge thing, that's what tends to hit me. Yep. I'm not primarily an entertainment writer. I'm certainly not a music writer. My music taste is terrible. But what I can say is that people, occasionally, but I couldn't write about it to sort of save my life. But I mean, everybody from Teray to Panama Jackson, like all the great music writer people that I know have said that this is sort of a massive loss. And here's the thing, whether it's George Nelson, everything else like that, we're losing that first sort of generation of iconic hip hop rock writers. Right? That's the other thing about this. We're reaching that point where it's like, yo, these cats who were at the birth of hip hop are in their 60s and 70s and they're passing away. And that's something also that I think as sort of younger commentators, culture journalists, we need to acknowledge, because the torch has been passed to us. We got to make sure we run with it.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.